Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Wealth Defense Radio, the podcast. I am your host, Josh Inahosa, and I am an independent advisor representative for Swan DFW, which is, of course, our company, which stands for Sleep Well at Night DFW. And I am here with the man whose golf practice session went so well yesterday, he hit a few balls left-handed. It is Hector and Josh.
Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time you're listening to this. Howdy, how's that?
Hector is a certified financial planner, which is the top mark in our industry, and he is right-handed.
Usually.
Yeah. So
but
first
after
thing,
yesterday, maybe left-handed. Golf. Anyway.
So first things first, how's your week?
Good. Well, except for a particular golf session that I had that was get you to thinking about pickleball or taking more naps, not playing golf.
So some housekeeping. We are now on video. If you're just listening to us on Spotify or on our website and you want to see what we look like, we have a couple different ways you can do that. The first way is on Facebook.
Yeah.
And the second way is on YouTube.
Yeah.
So find your way over. I believe both are findable if you just search Swan DFW.
Yeah. Yeah. And our Facebook page. And yeah, like it if you would. Like, let other people hear this brilliance that we have occasionally.
Sometimes. So today's episode is about stock splits.
Oh, my favorite topic.
And also, Apple had a big demo yesterday we're going to talk about for a minute.
Yeah, yesterday. Today is Tuesday, the
11th.
The 11th. So on June 10th, Apple had and we'll talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, as we're recording it, it was yesterday.
And even though we're going to mention some stocks and stuff, this is not a recommendation to buy. Make sure you check with either us or your financial planner and make sure that whatever investments we talk about here are appropriate. Do not take this as this is what you should do today. We're just talking in generalities here. We need a lot more information before we give you a specific recommendation. Okay.
For sure.
I think our lawyers are happy. Look at that. He's smiling over there.
None of this is actionable advice.
Very good. That's
the
what I was trying to
shorter
say.
way to say.
I like that.
But why say...
Just going to college really paid off. Yeah.
Why say in 4 words when you can say it in 100?
That's my motto. It's my spiritual gift.
So before we get into that,
okay,
we do have our funny news story of the week.
Okay.
And this one's from Business Insider. It's not business related, but that's where I found it.
Okay.
We live under some flight paths. We have jets and airliners that fly over our house. Have you ever filed a formal complaint to anybody about it?
About the flight plan?
Yeah, about the noise from jets.
I have not. I didn't know you could. Who would you file that with?
Not sure in America. So the headline for this is nearly half of all aircraft noise complaints in Australia last year, that'd be 2023, were filed by a single person.
Wow.
You want to guess how many times she complained? In 365 days? 20,716 times.
Well, then she does this full time.
Yeah, I think this is her job. It must be. That is...
I don't know how that pays, but okay.
So many. There were 51,500 in total. And she complained 20,000, so that's about half. Which is wild. That's some top tier complaining. I would love to meet this person.
I would not. She would probably complain.
Just to see, what she's all about. Seems like she's very strong-willed.
That's 55 complaints a day.
Right.
It's like 7 an hour, an 8 hour. That's a lot.
What I don't know is how close she lives to an airport. Because if you live close to an airport, that's kind of on you. You got to know.
That big old runway there, it's there for a reason, you know. That's funny.
Yeah, it's just a lot. It's some top tier hating by this person. So I get, in a weird way, I respect it. Because you're just like, if you're going to complain 100 times in a year, you may as well complain 20,000 times.
Yeah, but I wonder what the fix is. Okay, we're going to stop flying over
Clearly
Australia.
It hasn't worked. Right?
Yeah. Oh, well, that's funny.
So that is our story of the week.
Yeah. Okay.
So from that, seamlessly.
Very naturally.
Let's talk about stock splits.
Okay. That's not my favorite topic. You know.
The big one this week is Nvidia. They're the ones that split and are kind of the reason we're going to talk about it. But we're just going to talk about it in general terms, like what is a stock split?
Right.
And other just general questions. So why don't you explain what it means when a stock splits first?
So when a stock splits, there's no more value in it. If this was a pencil, and a stock split would be, you know, if we broke the pencil in half, a 2-for-1 split, now you'd have 2 halves, but it'd be the same as if you had one. And that's what a split is. If you owned one share at $100, after a 2-for-1 stock split, you would own 2 shares at $50. So you would still have $100 in the stock. You would just have 2 shares. And a couple of reasons companies do it. One is when a stock gets into the price like an Nvidia was or Apple was a few years ago in the 2000, you know, Nvidia was at 1,200. It's hard for a retail investor to buy the stock. If he's got $1,000 to invest and the cost of the stock is $1,200, he doesn't have enough to buy even one share. And so when you split a stock, Nvidia is now trading at around 120, it's more affordable. So that's the first thing that happens. It's more affordable for most retail folks. And for companies like Nvidia and other companies like Chipotle is going to split here pretty quickly. Much of their bonuses to their employees and their managers is with stock options. And if you're going to give somebody a $1,000 bonus, you can't really give them a share of stock if the stock is $1,200. And so it just gets tricky for a company to reward its own employees when the price of the stock is so high. So stock splits, especially for a Chipotle, that many of its managers get much of their compensation, as I understand it, from acquiring stock. That's another reason that the Chipotle is saying, which is kind of interesting. But mostly it's to lower the price, the point where somebody can buy a few shares of stock.
Yeah, so it opens up the audience or the amount of people that could potentially own it.
That's right. And so, yeah. And so typically what happens when a stock splits, everybody's held on to it, and then the stock actually splits, and there's some profit taking. People have been holding on for a long time, now want to sell some of their shares or get their cost bases out and stuff. And so you normally see the stock pull back a little bit. And it was interesting that Nvidia didn't do that yesterday. It's pulling back a little bit today. It's down 1 or 2% today, but usually that's pretty normal. And you will see that over probably the next week or so as Nvidia kind of tries to find its new normal, new base. So yeah, we can see some volatility in that stock over the next, week or two, maybe longer. But usually historically that's what happens.
Yeah. So historically, long term, beyond a week or two. Let's talk a year or 2 or 5 in the future.
Yeah, well, a stock splits because the price has been going up, which means people really like it. And so the split, there's a time of adjustment. But historically, I think I read a stock that has split will outperform the market by 6 to 8%. So it's a good thing to own even after the split. And, depending on, what part of the industry it's in or what it does or but usually you have to look at all of that. But usually a stock will perform pretty well for the rest of the year. And if you're not having a good year or things are not going well, you typically don't split your stock.
Yeah.
So if things are going well, it would make sense that only companies that are doing well, and Nvidia has done really well and is way ahead in artificial intelligence. So it would make sense that would split and continue to do well going forward.
Yeah. Again, none of this is actionable. It's all
Yes.
general terms.
Yeah.
So talk to a financial professional before you do.
But where would somebody find a financial professional?
Right here.
That's right.
Maybe we can have the phone number up on the screen.
Yeah, that would be good. Give us a call and let's see if one of these companies might be worth putting in your portfolio.
So let's talk about Apple.
Okay. Before we go there, because I just want to make sure a well-diversified portfolio will have stocks and bonds and other things in it. And, that's what we're trying. That's what a financial planner does, right? Is build a portfolio that gets you your maximum rate of return for the amount of risk you want to take. Let's talk about Apple. What do you think about Apple?
So they did a demo yesterday.
Yeah.
It was about 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think you watched 30 minutes of it, maybe.
Yeah.
Some exciting stuff. They have Apple Intelligence, which is Apple's version of AI.
Yeah, I like that. And you named it after us. AI, Apple Intelligence.
There's a lot of changes coming to Siri, which was the original AI way back. That was the first attempt, I guess, or stab at it.
Yeah.
Where you were like, hey, Siri, what's the weather outside? And it would feed you back. Really, that was the first thing you could talk to.
And it do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, some interesting stuff. What did you think of the 30 minutes that you watched?
Well, I think a lot. What was really interesting is that the people that are in the business said that for the code writers and all of that, it's really not anything new. That some of the stuff has been on the market, but it's going to be new for a lot of us because iPhones are a major part of our life. And one of the things that Siri has been something that I've struggled with. But it seems like they've improved it. That'll be cool. The iPad, some of the features in the iPad were really cool. What was intriguing to me is they showed where you send an email, and of course, right now we can check the email for spelling and making sure that it composes right, grammar. But this said that you could create an email and then tell the software the tone you wanted it to be. Formal, jovial, I forget what all the ones, but it was just, I thought, well, now that's really cool, because one of the hard things when you're sending an email, people can't hear your voice. So you may send it in one state of mind and then be read in another. So I thought that's really interesting, and I'm just I'm pretty excited, and I think it's going to be good. It's good, and I asked you yesterday, when you're using a software, when you open an app, the app always asks you, do you want this app to use your contacts or do that? And I don't do it, and I don't remember. Yeah. Well, yesterday you were saying if you do that, it will start, remembering things that you do, and even right now, it knows my Apple device knows that on Wednesday mornings I got to leave the house around 10 o'clock because I go do Meal on Wheels, which is on the Southwest Fort Worth, to go pick up and start delivering. And at around 9:45, it tells me traffic is light, take this road. And I just, that's pretty interesting. Didn't think about it till yesterday, but I'm interested to see what else it does for me.
Yeah, I think the feature, or not the feature, but the intelligence, I guess we'll call it, will cross-reference apps for you. I thought that was interesting. So if somebody texts you, about dinner plans, then it will add it to your calendar from that, and then the calendar can go to your maps and get you. So it's like you no longer have to go across 3 apps to figure out where dinner is or what time the plane is landing or whatever. It just kind of does it all for you. It just kind of streamlines everything.
Yeah, and that one of the things about the plane landing is if you say, "Hey, so when does Josh land today?" and it will go and check the airline and say, "Well, he's supposed to land at 1:00, but now they're saying it's gonna be like 1:20." So it's just we can do all of that. We just have to stop and and then go to the airlines and it's gonna. So I think it's going to be really cool. I think it's going to, for me personally, it's going to take some behavior modification because I'm going to have to allow it
to do that.
To hit yes to do that. But they said that all of the stuff was going to be held. Most of the stuff is going to be held in the phone, and they're not sharing information. So I think it's exciting. And you know who else thinks it's exciting?
Who?
The market. You know why I say that?
I have no idea.
Because today, Apple stock, yesterday it was flat. Today, Apple stock on Tuesday the 11th is up 10% in a day. So that means that not only do we think it's cool, which is really important.
Everybody else.
But the market is saying, we really like this. I'm sorry, it's only up 6%, 5.77. So it's a good thing. It's up $10 is what it is. I knew there was a 10 in there somewhere. The market is liking it, and here's why the market is liking it. AI may be good, but what they said today was most of the features are going to have to require a new phone. So
is that true?
That's what I heard today. Is that they're thinking that their sales will go up 20%. When you think of how many people in the U.S. and around the world own an iPhone, and how many of those folks are going to go to buy the new phone to get everything, that is that's a lot of new phones to be bought. And so it's it's just really kind of cool.
It is. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Some of the other interesting, but maybe less helpful to your actual real life features are you can create your own emoji using AI.
I don't really understand the fascination of emojis, but I guess I'm just the old man get off my yard guy because everybody else seems to use emojis for everything.
Yeah, you can if you wanted an emoji of a hamster playing pickleball for some reason, because that doesn't exist, Apple would create one for you, pop it out, and you could send it or react to a message with it.
Yeah.
I was looking at the iPad math notes thing.
Cool,
That was kind of wild. That's going to be real helpful for students, I imagine. That's going to be a game changer for math classes.
Yeah. If they allow you to bring a...
Yeah, because I remember in college, teachers were like, you're not always going to have a calculator with you, which is false because I have a phone. And now I can write out an equation in notes and it pops it out. And not just a simple equation. You can figure out logarithms and the sine and cosine.
And they kept making the same equation more complicated, and it gave I think that's amazing. I think it's going to help financial planners because when you're sitting with somebody, you can show them, look, if you save $200 a month and you're 25 years old and you go until you're 60 and get an 8%, look at how much, and I think that's going to, yeah, you're right. That's a game changer.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild time.
The one thing that I really liked, and I think they were a little slow, some of the Android phones have had for a while an ability to fix a picture, take background out of stuff. And I thought that was cool that they were finally going to get. If you take a picture and you got somebody in the background and you wanted to remove that, or you have something back there you don't want in the picture, they're going to give you an opportunity to remove that and make the picture better. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm just And you can do a search like, hey, I need a picture, any pictures I have of Josh playing golf when he's laughing at me at my practice sessions, and it will go back into the history and pull all those up. So very cool stuff.
Very cool stuff.
Yeah. And again, I like it a lot. I like it better that the market likes it a lot, and it's up a lot. That's how we know if something is well liked. Is don't tell me what you think. What are you doing with your money? And if people are going in and buying the stock because they really like that, that's a good thing.
Yeah. So,
and since Apple is one of our biggest holdings, that's a good thing.
Yeah. So,
which is not an actionable, thing to do. You need to make sure that you have proper disclosures, and you make sure that you've got a risk tolerance questionnaire with somebody before you take any kind of advice. And that was not advice. Okay.
So, if you would like to talk to a financial professional or two, i.e. us.
There you go.
We have a couple different ways you can do that. Phone number's on the screen, but for those of you just listening, it's 888-792-6339. Again, that is 888-SWAN-DFW.
I was going to say, how would anybody remember that? Oh, 888-SWAN-DFW. That's very clever. I like that.
Yeah. So that's 888-792-6339. Or if you would prefer written correspondence, info@swandfw.net is our email address. All those emails are private, obviously. Yeah, but if you have a question that you're like, I don't have time for a phone call right now, but I would like to be able to read it later.
Tell Siri to send us a email.
Yeah, and I think that
well, and we just go back to, most people don't use a financial planner because they think that we cost too much. But what was some of the research that you had?
71% of adults admit that they need financial planning help.
Yeah.
And only 29% use a financial advisor.
29%. Wow.
Yeah, so less than a third, thanks to the Apple Math app.
Yeah.
And people who work with a financial advisor tend to wind up with 15% more money at retirement.
It's puzzling to me that why so many people wouldn't use somebody that would help them sleep well at night and end up with more money, net of fees and all of that. But hopefully that's not you. And if you know somebody who's not using somebody like us or us, share this with them and have them give us a call. We're pretty nice. On a scale of 1 to 10, on 10 being the nicest person you ever met, we're in the high 2s. So we're gonna be nice to them.
All right. Thank you guys for listening.
Yep.
And we'll catch y'all in the next one.
Have a blessed day. Thank you.
The preceding content is informational only and based on information available when created. It is not an offer or solicitation, nor is it tax or legal advice. It does not consider your financial circumstances and objectives and may not be suitable for you.